Never know how to, what's the best way to do this thing? Alright, put it there. Alright, guess we're good. Hello my friend, in the shed today, we're gonna jump right into some shipping. But first things first, got a vintage T-check, 1991, Kylie Minogue, Rhythm of Love tour. Shout out to the Queen. So we've got the trusty old iPhone 7 just charged up. I think we've got like 20% battery, so that's not ideal. But this is gonna help me find all the SKUs and all the numbers, so let's roll. So the biggest thing I love about carrying the larger inventory and a bigger selection is the fact that I do have customers come through and they buy in bulk. And so not only are they paying less in shipping costs because I can just charge them a flat rate and send it maybe in an extra large satchel, but they're also able to pick up multiple items and I can give them a better deal because they are buying in bulk. So now all 100 items have been picked, and as you can see at the top here, these 5 are all single items, single orders, and at the bottom are actually combined orders. So these 2 pick bins on the right are 2 separate customers, where one customer has bought an entire pick bin here and another customer has bought an entire pick bin here. So that means people can come through, they can buy a single item if they like, they've got plenty to choose from, but also if they are looking for multiple items, I'm able to save them shipping costs. The biggest thing I've noticed with these bulk orders is that these are usually repeat customers. So maybe they've bought 1 or 2 items before, or maybe they've just bought 2 or 3 with the combines. So after having that initial experience, they then realize, okay, I can trust this store and this person. And then those customers are usually the ones that come back through and are placing those larger orders. So understanding that customer journey of somebody buying one thing and then realizing, okay, this person has more stuff that I like, I'm happy to go back, has really led me to pay close attention to these single orders, because ultimately I don't just look at these as single customers. I look at these orders as potential repeat business in the future. And that's very important to me because throughout the year, you are going through those periods of it not being as busy. And the people that are paying for your product during those periods are always repeat customers. And so repeat customers are very, very important to my business. And over time, I've learned to keep that in mind no matter who I'm serving, because that person could come back, that person could tell a friend, that person could be buying for somebody else. So no matter what I'm doing, that's always something that I'm thinking about. Now it's time to fill up my blue shipping bags. So what I'm gonna do is jump on the computer, combine the items, and then get straight into packing. Let's go. So I'm about to do some photos now for the pants and jeans. Here they are separated between men's and women's. And obviously I have gone through and I've checked zips, buttons, and also the pockets for any holes. The reason why I like doing this up front is obviously so that the customer doesn't get any unexpected surprises, as well as being able to catch those flaws that maybe I need to photograph. I've found that doing this check up front has significantly reduced my return rate. I do provide the measurements in the photo as well. I still find that I get some returns for item doesn't fit, even with the measurements, but that is to be expected. But in terms of the item not as described returns, I've significantly reduced that return rate just by doing this check up front. All right, photo time, let's get to work. So the photos are all done. What I'm doing now is I'm just transferring the photos from the phone onto the computer. I hope you can see that. Then what I'm gonna do is jump right into listing. I don't like taking breaks between photography and listing. I like them to be one condensed step, just because I've noticed that one, my short-term memory is just storing the information from the photos. And two, just means I finish my workday faster. So by condensing photography and listing into one step, just makes things a whole bunch easier. So I guess something that has just been top of mind for me recently is just this idea of starting where you're at with what you already have. I think being raised by a single mom as an only child, I think really shaped my perspective on making the most of what you've already got and also being resourceful, because sometimes the options that you want are actually not available. And so I'm definitely guilty of this, is falling into that trap of thinking that you can't start until you have this gear, or can't start until I have this amount of time or this amount of money. But the truth is that once you begin, once you get going, you slowly realize that a lot of those things you thought you needed, you actually don't need at all. So how this has shown up in my life is that my first 10,000 items I sold with a pair of iPhone 7s. And for the vast majority of those first 10,000 listings, I was using like an old computer I'd bought secondhand. So I found that the more reps that I did, the less I actually needed to upgrade. And then I only ended up upgrading when I felt like I truly needed to in order to progress. So I'd kind of reached the ceiling because either the laptop was running slow or the iPhones were running out of battery. I think having those creative constraints in the beginning actually helps you to focus on the things that matter. So for me, it was never about having the best gear. It was never about having the ideal setup. It was about putting the time in, putting the reps in, and actually getting better over time versus waiting for the perfect moment to start. I basically had to give myself permission to start messy. And by doing that, I was then able to refine it over time through iterations. It was so easy for me to just call myself a perfectionist when in reality, I was just insecure. I was worried that it wouldn't work. I was worried about coming to terms with if something didn't turn out the way I had planned it in my mind. I was able to come to terms with the fact that, okay, I'm not a gold medalist at running my business right now, but I know that over time that I will get better and I will be able to improve. And so that's really just been at the top of my mind. Just this idea of not waiting until the perfect moment, because in reality, that perfect moment may never exist. And a lot of the time, the things that you think you need, you don't actually need, because through that experience, you realize, okay, was this a want or was it something that was actually essential? And a lot of the time it turns out that it's actually not essential at all and you can go without it. Another idea I've been thinking a lot about is just this notion of how powerful the Magic Pocket Computer is. The fact that you can now go on your phone and connect to thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people through your phone, to me is just, I don't think it's an opportunity that everybody is taking advantage of. And for me, I now know that it's time to really embrace that opportunity because we may not have that forever. I'm blessed at this point that I've been able to meet people through the internet to do business with. I've met people that have become my friends and I've been able to travel to their country and go and see them. And so for me, moving forward, it's like, well, how do I continue to embrace this opportunity that I have, which is to become more open and share a lot more of what I'm doing, because I understand that that is what helps me connect to other people. And by sharing my journey, I hope that I'm able to connect with you. And also the biggest thing I've noticed recently from documenting is how much I'm relearning and re-solidifying the knowledge that I already do have just by having to explain it, just by having to teach little aspects and be aware of the little things I'm doing. Because when you're not showing somebody else, you're just kind of unconsciously going through the motions. But by having to break it down and document and show other people, it's really helped me to arrange my ideas and be able to express them better. So my main goal is to educate, entertain, inspire, really have an impact and share what I have to say. Because I can't help but think that maybe I can speak to the younger version of me and maybe save that version of me some money and some time. What I'm gonna do now is go freshen up, have a shower, get a drink, then get back into the studio to make some music. So I'm just in the studio now. I'm gonna do my quick vocal warm-up routine and then we'll work out what we're doing next. Nay, 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 nay. Ooh, ee, goo, 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 goo. So now with that out of the way, I thought I could do something potentially meta, which is make the beats for this video that you would have already heard earlier in the clip are the ones that I'm actually about to make now. And I'll show you my process of making the beats as I'm making them. So that is 5 beats complete, and then I've basically got to go back and edit and then put those songs in. And I think just to finish off today, what I'll do is record a full song. I don't know whether you can hear it or not, but there is rain on the shed roof right now, so hopefully that dies down when I go to record my main takes.
I'm just getting started, I don't see a limit. Yeah, I keep it going, I can never finish. Yeah, I'm just getting started, I always felt different. In a way, if you ain't keeping up with it, I'm just, yeah. Hey, I'm just getting started, I don't see a limit. Gotta keep it going, I can never finish. I'm just getting started, put myself in it. I can make it happen, I just need a minute. I'm just getting started, always felt different. In a way, if you ain't keeping up with it, I'm just getting started, never had a limit. Had to take it off, it was never given.
So that pretty much wraps up today's video. Thank you very much for watching if you made it this far. That is pretty much my standard day, working on the business and then working on music. I've found that being able to do both has done wonders for my mood and my energy, because some days musically nothing is happening. Like there'll be days where I'm recording for hours and I'm not making anything I like, and on those days I often find that the business is going on as usual. And then obviously vice versa. There are days where the business is slow, but I'm able to tap in and do a studio session where I'm really able to make progress musically. So being able to bounce between the both has just been great for me. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to ask away. Maybe send this video to a friend. Otherwise, I'm Kiddo, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you for watching.